As a reminder, we have 5 best of 3s in total in this GSL group format. And here we go. Spawning in the top left-hand corner of Gressfarm, we have the South Korean Terran player representing himself. He's still teamless. One of the few players out there that deserves to be on a team. He is so damn good. He needs the support. It is GuMiho. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the South Korean Protoss player representing Team Abydos, the Red Protoss. It is Creator. We go. But yeah, what I appreciate about players like Creator, players like GuMiho, they typically play their own way. They kind of forge their own path, and we see that a lot in the PvZ of Creator. He has such a unique playstyle, very similar, very like Showtime-esque, but even then, like Creator, he has his own kind of flavor to it. He has his own kind of twist to things. In PvT, though, I do think that he's a little bit more standard, as he is going for a probe scout across the map. We recently did cast GuMiho during the ESL Open Cups, and we've seen him be very hyper-aggressive in this matchup as well. GuMiho is not afraid to cheese, he's not afraid to go for 2-base all-ins, or even proxies off of 1-base. Even 1-base all-ins. We saw that, I think it was last week in ESL Open Cup Americas, GuMiho versus Estrella. It was pretty intense. It was a best of 5 that ended like in 15 minutes. GuMiho did not hold back. Did not hold back. But we'll see. For the time being, GuMiho is going for a double gas opener here, so more of an aggressive opener from GuMiho. He's going to get a faster factory. Can get into a faster starport as well, but we should be seeing a factory expand out of GuMiho, as across the map, Creator likewise goes for a gate expand. There we go. CC is on the way. So no 1-base all-in shenanigans out of GuMiho. I appreciate it. As the Reaper is going to be shooed away by the first Adept, and behind this we do have a Twilight Council opener coming out from Creator. I imagine going to be 4 Blink. And Blink, especially 4-gate Blink, not a bad build on this map on Gressfarm, just because of how wide open the main base is. But we'll see how aggressive Creator plans to be with his Twilight Council opener. Again, there are different variations of Blink openers. You can go 2-gate into a fast third base. You can go for 4-gate, which is far more aggressive and far more committed. Or you can go 3-gate, which is a little bit more middle of the road, very safe opener to still get into a third base. To have a map presence and expand behind it. As GuMiho is setting up for what looks to be a mine drop, a mine marine drop. I love as well that GuMiho, he's hiding that Widow Mine under his Reapers, hoping to catch Creator out. Very cheeky move out of GuMiho, very cheeky. We'll see if Creator does fall for it. For the time being, we have 1 gateway in the main. We have 2 more gates on the way, so this looks like a 3-gate Blinkstalker opener. Again, with this, you can have a map presence, you can be a little bit aggressive, but it's not all in by any means. Oof, as Undead is going to go down. As Creator does chase down that Widow Mine. At the same time, Reapers dip into the natural base. Shield battery's done though, so no probe damage. Oh. As the Widow Mine is going to survive. Oh! Does it survive? It does! Oh my god. It does barely survive, taking down that Adept with it. Meanwhile, we get a mine drop into the main. Good target firing out of Creator. He does take down the medevac, and does avoid the majority of those shots. good crisis management here out of Creator. As he has defended. We have the Prism on the way, so we can be active, we can push out, we can be aggressive. But again, Creator should be expanding. Expanding or taking up. One or the other. So there we go. Base is soon to be on the way. Oh, we are actually going to be taking not into a Robotics Bay. We're going for a Templar Archives instead. Interesting. So Creator isn't going for Colossus or Disruptors, at least not yet. He's going to be going into Storm and Archons instead. A more gateway-heavy composition. There's that third base. And Creator does have the option to go into the main. Again, because there's only 3 gateways, he can't be too aggressive, so he has to be very careful with his units. Oh. As he doesn't have a lot to work with. Meanwhile, back at home after that mine drop, GuMiho is just transitioning into his 3-1-1. It was 3 racks, 1 factory, 1 starport setup. Pretty standard here on 2 bases. No third CC yet from GuMiho, but I imagine we'll be throwing down our third once GuMiho starts being active on the map. After he gets his upgrades underway. As Creator does rotate around and he's looking for another way in. Looking for a drop into the natural. There is a tank in position. And Stalkers are going to be able to take one tank shot each before getting out of there. Creator, he got 1 SCV. It's something. He's getting Creator. He's just trying to contain his opponents. There's that third CC being thrown down here by GuMiho. So he's not going all in or anything like that. He's expanding. Back at home. Creator getting his third base up and running. Storm is about to finish up. We could set up for some Storm drops, but before we can talk about Storm drops, GuMiho is going to push out. Oh, a bit premature. Stim isn't done. So GuMiho is going to bleed out some Marauders. Gets a Stalker. Not too bad. But yeah, this push is pretty terrifying. Creator's in quite a lot of trouble right now. These Storms, they need to hit. They need to count. He can Storm. He can also feedback. Storm, not the best connection. Only connects with a couple of Marines. We have 2 more Storms available. And here we go. We have the disable. 1 Storm will connect, but only a single Storm. Looks like the Zealots are closing this as we're getting on top of the tanks. As we get another disable on that Immortal. GuMiho, he's barely pushing through, but with that final Storm, it looks like Creator should clean this up, should force back the army. Not just force the army back, but Creator can also counterattack. He's got a bit of momentum. His Immortal survived. The High Templar survived as well. He has a couple of Storms remaining. GuMiho is attempting to expand, but Creator can maybe do something about that. Okay, now we can. He thinks better of it. He backs off. He's got 2 High Templar in the Prism. Now, the Ravens survived, and that's pretty important to point out. Because the Ravens survived, they're going to be able to have, or impact the next fight as well with those disables. With those interference matrices. There we go, show me the storm. Show me the storms. So far, mines are not going to get baited out. Massive warping of Zealots here on the front lines. Creator, he's thinking about diving on in. There's that disable once again on the Prism. That is going to force Creator back. As he backs up, 4th base is on the way. Robotics Bay, so we can mix up our splash damage. We can start working on Colossus, on Disruptors. Yeah, Creator, he does back up. And GuMiho survives. He survives after a pretty disastrous fight initially, if you recall. When he was moving out, he just wasn't able to trade too well despite all the disables. His tanks got reset. But now he's able to back up. Must drop an army. Good snipe on the Raven. The high energy Raven as well. At the same time, Zealot Rabbi does dip into the natural. CVs are going down. GuMiho's army is forced back home. Oh, the boys are being pulled. 9 SCVs go down. Another Zealot Rabbi here at the third base. GuMiho having a hard time defending. Does finally settle things on his side of the map. And thankfully he hasn't been resting on his laurels. He's already got his Ghost Academy Ghoster on the way for those EMPs. Fourth base as well. As Creator has eyes on the main army, he goes for another Zealot run by. This time it shouldn't get too much done though. Good snipes out of GuMiho. This time he was in position, this time he does react in time. Again, I'm sure this sensor tower also giving him some forewarning. And once again, things are settling down. We still don't have a second robo, especially with a fourth base coming up. We should get a second robo for double disruptor production. Oh, actually, Creator. As he gets eyes on the fourth base, he's working on a fourth Colossus. That's quite a lot of Colossi. More than we typically expect, to be honest. As GuMiho is getting into a second starport, mass Viking production. Eventually into Liberators. And once we get our 4 Colossi, we're actually not making Disruptors. We're getting into Immortals. So, very interesting composition here from Creator. So he's going to have a lot of consistent splash damage, but without Disruptors, he's going to have a hard time stopping the dives of GuMiho. He's got some Storms, yes, but not too many. This is what I was mentioning earlier about like Creator having his own style. This is very similar to how he plays out PvZ as well. Very Archon, very Immortal heavy. Oh, and there it is. We have a Stargate. The beginnings of a Skytoss transition. We're going to late game, Bobby. We're heading there. We're on the road. GuMiho setting up for some multi-prong harassment. He's going to push here towards the north, dancing with the main Colossus army. Creator, he hasn't quite split up his forces. But GuMiho has been spotted. As GuMiho is posturing, Zealot Rabbi does dive in, does take down the sensor tower. And GuMiho is committing, is pushing into the third and the fifth base at the same time. Creator does deflect the armies of GuMiho. He's not being caught out. 2 Colossi for each base, not too bad. And now GuMiho's in some trouble. He's in some trouble because he's not quite aware of this Skytoss transition. There's a second Stargate and a Fleet Beacon on the way. This should be for Tempest production or even carriers. Liberators, they're good, but they're good against ground toss. Again, GuMiho, he just needs to get a read on what's going on. He's got his fusion core, he's got Liberator Rage on the way. He's doing a good job trading with the army. And to be fair, like Creator, he hasn't started Skytoss production yet. So GuMiho, he can still trade with this army, he can still dance back and forth. And I love this, he's setting up for a drop into the main. Carriers are on the way. This Observer not quite in position. The drop will not get scouted. Here we go. The Disables do connect with the Disruptors. We have some Liberator harass going on at the same time. And we're waiting for an opening here, and here we go. The drop goes into the main. We have a high tempo. We have some storms. Okay, not the best storm, though. Oh, as DTs are warped in. There is no detection. The DTs, they can put in a lot of work at the same time. We have a nuke into the center base. Creator does defend in the main. Nuke will go off, but Creator, he noticed. We'll only lose one worker. And I'm a little bit concerned because looking at the vision of GuMiho... Okay, he did see. I was like, did the drop see the main? Did he see the production? He did. He did see the fleet beacon, did see the carriers being produced. Back at home, there we go. We have a ring of turrets being set up. We have 3 more starports on the way. So GuMiho has clearly seen the sky toss. He's getting ready for it. And a bio army with the support of Liberators and Vikings is going to be very necessary here against sky toss. And this is the kind of game that I was expecting out of Special versus Dark on Gress1. Like, it's almost every matchup where you can end up in the late game, you can cut the map in half. Which is very common on Gress1. We can see Creator killing some of his own units, clearing up supply for those carriers. Nuke is thrown down. I don't know if it's been spotted. Uh oh. Base will fall, and Nuke is gonna connect. Creator! No! Puppy! Oh. The Nexus falls at 10 probes as well. Oh, Creator taking some heavy losses there. His main army is still standing strong. He's still producing carriers. Big EMP does connect with those disruptors though. Creator forced back. But again, thankfully, because GuMiho was able to see this ahead of time, like, he's had plenty of time to react. And there we go. We have BCs on the way. Yamato. Ship weapons. And ship armor as well. I almost said ship defense. We drop into the main. We deny +3. Oh, we take some big storm to the face, but taking down that forge, pretty worth it. GuMiho is rotating around, trying to find an opening, trying to catch Creator out of position. 3 BCs being built at a time. So this is also a really bold move out of Creator. Typically we don't really see BCs this early on, but because Creator is still amassing carriers, like, Creator, he's still waiting for his own death ball, so he's giving GuMiho the time that he needs to make BCs. The problem is that we need a lot of them. We need a lot of battle cruisers. Here we go, another Doom drop going towards the main base. You can see GuMiho, he just wants to get rid of this supply, trade it as efficiently as he can, just to make room for more battle cruisers. Some DT harass going on at the same time. The drop still waiting for the opportune moment. Likewise, we saw Creator also throwing away some of his own immortals. So both players are just refining their armies. Up! Up! Can we get the CC? No. Just barely don't. So we still have more battle cruisers amassing. Got 3/3 upgrades on the way as well. Doom drop still waiting to go into the main. We also have BCs actually amassing in the top right hand corner of the map. Interesting. I was wondering where they were. Now what I love about this is what this means is that they won't get scouted. Oh, and here we go. We have a drop getting ready for the main. We have BCs looking to head into that 4th base. Carriers are in position though, and mate, that's a lot of carriers. How many carriers do we have? We have 11! 11 carriers. Ay, ay, ay. That is critical mass. Prism is being hunted down. The battle cruisers do pull back. They don't go for it yet. Now, who would win in a big fight? So, if both armies do clash, I mean, the problem is that BCs are pretty good with their Yamatos, right? Like, you can get a couple of Yamatos off, and because they're so tanky as well, they can teleport in time, and they can get away for a later fight. So, I would say that GuMiho's army is more cost-efficient. Is definitely more cost-efficient against this. I think Creator is tunnel visioning a little bit. He's going pure carrier, right? And as impressive as this, and it is impressive, right? It looks impressive. It's like, damn, that's a lot of carriers. But also, it's like, you know, what else are we really working with? Especially against a battlecruiser army, which, to be fair, Creator hasn't seen the battlecruisers. He doesn't know about the BCs yet. If he did, I'm sure he would be going into Void Rays as well. Void Rays or even Tempest. They both fare better against battlecruiser armies. Here we go. BCs are revealing themselves. Workers are going down. Can we snipe any of these BCs in time? Where's the teleport? Up! Up! It's not quite there. We do see GuMiho not paying attention. Does take down a carrier, does teleport back in time. GuMiho was just a little bit distracted. So he trades one BC for one carrier. But as we saw, it takes 2 Yamatos to kill a carrier. And there we go. As soon as the BCs are revealed, Tempests are on the way. And this is why I'm worried for Creator, because this Tempest production should have started earlier, if those BCs were spotted earlier as well. Like, half of these carriers should be Tempest, essentially. Here we go. We get the massive Dune Drop into the main base. We do have a recall available. Oh my god, as we do throw down a nuke in the main. There's that, no shot! No! Creator! He recalls back! The nuke! Okay, he sees. Oh my god. I was picturing a worst case scenario where the army is within nuke range. Whew. Creator takes a blow to his production, yes. Uh oh. Let's be careful with these carriers, but he's going to be able to clean up the drops. At the same time, the entire Skytoss army is here towards the south, and that does create an opening towards the north as SCVs are fighting cannons. I thought this was like a drop or something, but never mind. Hey, they get the cannon. As Creator is going for a big counter attack. Okay, the units tab here. We have 8 battle cruisers. They are avoiding the main army. They're going for their own counter attack as well. So we have a bit of a base trade. Bit of a base trade. Planetaries are falling. At the same time, some of these Nexi are under threat as well. GuMiho, where's his Viking army? Okay, his Viking army is here towards the north. So GuMiho is just not engaging. He's just allowing these bases to go down. At the same time, shutting down all these mining bases of Creator as well. GuMiho has a better bank. He has just been more cost efficient. He can afford to lose some bases, but oh boy, this will still come down to one big fight. Oh, can the Marines get a carrier? Up! They will! Is that 10 Marines kill a carrier? Not too bad. At a moment like this, not too bad at all. Oh, the BCs are also hunting down those Tempests. Oof. Ghost committing to the base trade. Natural and that 4th base did go down. Depowering the Stargates as well, and Creator is turning back around. He's coming home. Now, the problem with coming home is this. We can just teleport. Like, GuMiho, in a base trade, like, BCs are superior. They can just teleport back across the map. A lot of Ghosts are going down, though. Do go down. We get a nuke into the main. Not the most impactful nuke. We can get maybe some pylons. Up. Get a couple of pylons. We depower the production. Creator actually heavily supply block. Those pylons actually did matter. Uh-oh. What you see is what you get. Creator, he cannot remax. Once again, looking at the units tab. Oh my god, we have 18 battle cruisers. Remember, 2 Yamadas kill a carrier. We only have 11 carriers. I think GuMiho will be able to take this fight with all these turrets, with the repairs, with the Vikings, even the Ravens for disables. We'll see as we teleport on top of the army. Oh my god. Yamatos are coming in. And everything gets Yamato. The BCs will not die. And the carrier army crumbles. GG gets called. And GuMiho takes game number 1. GG. GG, well played. Mass carrier. It can do well in certain cases, yes. But against battle cruisers, not so much. Not so much. Battle cruisers are so tanky. They take so many hits. Again, as we saw, it just took a little bit too long for Creator to realize that he wasn't the only one that was like hiding a tech transition, you know, for a while at least. He didn't see those battle cruisers until the base trade almost started, right? It's like Creator, he didn't really have too long to start adjusting his own army composition and adapting to the army that GuMiho had. It took him a little bit too long, GG. GG, well played. Ugh. Very powerful game there out of GuMiho. Very smart of him to transition into those battle cruisers when he did, and did a great job at hiding them as well. Hiding them and keeping them away from Creator's eyes. So, now we're getting to game number 2. Oh. 1 moment though. 1 moment. These have been long games. Un momento. Before we get into game number 2, I need a moment. I do need a moment. I'll be back in like 30 seconds or so. Won't be long. I promise. And we're back. I apologize. Sorry, I had to set up a Zoom call. But we have returned. We can dive back into this series, back into game number 2. And here we go. Just making sure that the scene switcher and everything's working. And here we go. Spawning in the top left-hand corner of Dragon Scales, we have the South Korean Terran player representing himself, the Madman. He's teamless. Why is he teamless? I'm shaking my head. If you're a team owner out there, support GuMiho. He deserves your support. I said his name, spawning in the top left-hand corner. We have the Korean Terran player. It is GuMiho. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the South Korean Protoss representing Team Abydos. Down in this series, looking to fight back, it is Creator. Rowdy, ¿qué tal? ¿Cómo estás? The chains. Oh, tie me up. Good to see you. Oh. But here we are. Again, a very impressive showing by GuMiho in the previous game. Was able to not just, of course, hide his tech and get into those BCs, but even before that, right, we saw some hyper aggression out of him. We saw him just keeping Creator on the back foot, and for the most part, and yeah, Creator, as he was trying to rush into that sky toss, was not aware of what GuMiho himself was rushing into. But now we get into a bit of a different map, much smaller map. We're on Dragon Scales. Rush distance by ground is far shorter than the norm, than Gressvan, I should say. Aren't as many bases to be taken as well. So you can be a little bit more aggressive, as GuMiho is going for a very different opener. If you remember in game 1, he went for a double gas opener into a faster factory, into that mine drop. Here in game 2, he's going for a Rax expand for a faster natural base instead. So a lot more economic here out of GuMiho. He's playing it out safely though. He gets that CC on the high ground instead. Does keep it safe. Does keep it hidden. As across the map, we just have a gate expand from Creator. A very safe opener from Creator as well. He is very adamant about looking for a proxy. He's been looking around here with his probe, looking for any kind of crazy proxy opener. Checks the main, and it looks like, oh, he is within range of the CC. He confirms that it was a rack expend. So Creator should be feeling pretty safe. And, oh, I don't know if you noticed, he had a shield battery on the way at the natural, and he cancelled the shield battery as soon as he saw that CC. So he knows he's safe. He knows he can be more greedy here, and he takes up right into that Twilight Council. So Twilight Council opener out of Creator. Just like he did in the previous game. If you remember in game 1, Creator did go for a 3-gate Blink Stalker opener into a third base. And he wasn't really, I mean, the 3-gate opener meant that he shut down the mine drop, but he wasn't able to do too much damage across the map with it. He wasn't able to be too aggressive. Meanwhile, GuMiho is setting up for his own interesting opener. He's going for a fast medevac, he's going straight for the Cyclone. GuMiho going for a very fast drop across the map. He can pick off a couple of stray units here and there, especially if Creator isn't ready for it. We'll see. We shall see. As a hallucinated scout, it does confirm the opener, does get eyes on the drop as well, so Creator is now fully aware of the drop coming his way, and is going to be able to prepare himself. You can see him being proactive. Oh, bold move. He's going to try to catch the drop if possible. Probe does confirm the Cyclone. As GuMiho is dropping into the main. The Cyclone on the ground to support as well. Does get a lock on that gateway. And he should be able to focus it down. But here we go. We have Stalkers coming in from behind as well. Lock on still not broken on that gateway. Up, up. Oh, but finally... GuMiho was forced to focus on the Stalkers, and he's going to be able to get both of them. Uh-oh. Very good pickups here from GuMiho. 2 Stalkers already. Hasn't lost anything of his own. You see Creator coming in from behind, trying to get us around on this army. Trying to focus down at least the medevac, but the gateway does go down. This time, Creator, he was a little bit more careful with his control, and he doesn't get locked on by those Cyclones, doesn't lose any more Stalkers. The target firing, he at least gets one of them. Blink is now done. And with Blink, Creator can trade a little bit more efficiently against this army. In the midst of this skirmish, Creator did expand. He threw down a third base. Threw down additional gateways as well. And he's okay. He's not in a bad position here. Losing the gateway was pretty rough. But again, he was able to expand behind it. He didn't really let up on his macro too much. And there we go. He's shutting down the medevac. Shuts down the Cyclone as well. GuMiho sticking around a little bit too long. Good control out of Creator, saving those low HP Stalkers. He's able to keep them alive. As we do have a Cloak Banshee Harass slipping into the main. So far, no damage is done yet, as we have another Banshee on the way. Shield Battery is keeping everything alive for the time being. As Creator goes for a massive counterattack, the tank not quite within range. Oh, GuMiho losing a lot of SCVs. Across the map, we have another Banshee rocking up and trying to get damage done, but one shield battery is all it takes to keep everything alive. Oof, there we go. Finally, a couple of probes are going down. And 3 probes, not too bad. The army of Creator does turn back around. So GuMiho doing a good job at distracting the army, but he lost a lot of SCVs across the map. To that counterattack, he lost his Cyclones, he lost his medevacs. GuMiho has been just a little bit too wasteful here, as he's setting up for, for that 5 racks. GuMiho has a third base on the way, thankfully. He's not all in. He is looking to get into his third, but for the most part, GuMiho, he has to relinquish map control. He's stuck at home. He has a pretty good defensive position with these 3 tanks. The Banshees also survived. They made it back home as well. Meanwhile, because GuMiho is being contained, Creator should be free to expand and take a fort. It looks like he's setting up for that 4th base. Scan does confirm that we have another Twilight Council upgrade on the way. It's going to be Charge. So Charge lots of Immortals. Very little splash damage is available to Creator. Unlike the previous game, he's not rushing into Storm. There are no Colossi. Those Zealots, they've got a lot of heavy lifting to do. Oh, it's the Banshees. They come in from behind. Good target firing, taking down some of these summoned up Stalkers. 3, 4 Stalkers go down. Very nicely done. As GuMiho does push out. Behind this, he expands, takes the 3rd base. But as he moves out, we have a Zealot run by coming on in. Catching a lot of reinforcements and getting into the mineral line. SCVs are going down. The entire army of GuMiho turns back around. At the same time, Creator, he can threaten that 3rd. So I was just trying to give Creator as much time as he needs. And he's looking to collapse on these unsieged tanks. 1 tank does get picked off. Once again, the army getting pulled over towards the left-hand side. Creator coming in from behind. Up. Heading towards the natural. Doing both. We can see GuMiho just being pulled apart. Tanks are going to be lifted off, but the base is going to be forfeit. 5 SCVs go down. Good crisis management out of GuMiho. Does preserve a lot of his workers. But GuMiho's army is kind of cut in half here. Tank is going to go down. Even though Creator couldn't quite break the 3rd base, he's pushing into the natural. Gets the tank. And yeah, Creator, he can fight this as well. Without tanks or Widowmites to support this army, Creator can push forward. GuMiho, he's just lost so much here. He's down to 38 workers. The base itself could go down. Oh no, it's gonna go down! Up! That's a kill on the 3rd. He scans, sees how saturated the 3rd base is of Creator. GuMiho just taking it in. And there's that 4th base from Creator. Just getting further ahead. It's one of those things where Creator, he may not have had too much splash damage and too much of an anchor point for his own main army. But he did have a much more mobile army with those Zealots. And we saw how Creator was able to pull GuMiho apart in between his natural, his 3rd base, his main. Forcing him this way and that. And as GuMiho holds onto his 2 bases, Creator, he's up 2 more bases compared to GuMiho. Building up his immortal count. He's got plenty of observers for detection. He sees the army moving out, and as the army moves out, Creator moves in. Oh, the boys are being pulled! They're not gonna make it. Ay, ay, ay. I mean, they have to be pulled. GuMiho is all in. He's losing so many SCVs. Are we going for a base trade? We may as well. I mean, that's best case scenario for GuMiho, to be fair. Creator is looking to come in from behind. But GuMiho is going up into the natural. If he can siege up on top of the natural, then maybe he can pull this off. The boys are being pulled. Only 2 tanks survive. Again, this is a really awkward fight for Creator, pushing up a choke point, up a ramp. But it looks like he still has a bit too much. GuMiho fighting pretty well, to be fair, though. Like, again, Creator was out of position. The robos are depowered, the gateways are going down. Creator, he's got to be careful. GuMiho is taking control of the natural. But with these Zealots, and with the surround being set up as well, unfortunately, GuMiho is running out of steam. He's running out of steam. He's running out of units. Does pick everything up. He's dropping towards the fourth. Has a lot of reinforcements. He's down to 2 SCVs. Oh my god. Yeah, Creator, he decides to just give up the fourth base. Creator cannot hold on to it. He backs off. Looks like he's trying to catch some reinforcements. There are none. There's almost nothing else left. As GuMiho goes for his last push, Creator comes in from behind. He finally takes down those tanks. And with the death of those tanks, that's the death of GuMiho. He made it close though. Like the base trade was probably like the best case scenario here for GuMiho. GG gets called and Creator fights back, takes game number 2, and forces the ace match. GG. Oh my god. GuMiho, he doesn't make it easy on you. Doesn't make it easy. Even when he's far behind, even when he's at death's door, he makes you work for it. And yeah, again, that was kind of the ideal scenario for GuMiho. Going for the base trade, somehow out-positioning Creator, getting on top of that ramp, getting into the natural. It was, yeah, it was the best that he could do, but just barely wasn't enough. And now we have the ace match. We have game 3. Oh, let's go. It's going to be taking place on Babylon. And spawning in the top left-hand corner of Babylon, we have the South Korean Terran player representing himself. The madman is teamless. I'm shaking my head. It is GuMiho. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the South Korean Protoss representing Team Arbidos. It is Creator. Go. We're here in the ace match in game number 3. It all does end here. Creator being a little bit paranoid, and I don't blame him, looking for any kind of crazy proxy from GuMiho. Checking his third base locations. Doesn't want to get cheesed out in the ace match. Playing it out very safe. Across the map, GuMiho just setting up for a Rax Expand. Very economic opener here out of GuMiho. Only 1 gas geyser. So not being too aggressive at all. This Creator is heading out across the map. It would have been really nice. So for a long time, the 2 teamless players were GuMiho and Creator. Sorry, GuMiho and Classic. They were teamless for the majority of this year. But if you remember a couple of months ago, like a month and a half ago, 2 months ago, Classic got picked up by Twisted Minds. It would have been really cool if Twisted Minds did also pick up GuMiho. Unfortunately, they only got 1 player. With the next season of WTL on the horizon, I wonder if Twisted Minds will be willing to pick up a couple more players so they can compete in WTL. That would probably be the most ideal situation, the ideal scenario. Fingers crossed that with the upcoming season of WTL, GuMiho gets picked up at some point. Unfortunately, Basilisk, they only picked up Cyril and Raynor just so they could have a WTL team. Like, you only need 3 players. So I don't see them getting another player. Because you only need 3 to compete in WTL. But we'll see. We'll see. We shall see. As Creator is going to be diving in across the map. Does get a Marine kill. And does delay the CC as well. Very nicely done here by Creator. Good. 1 second later and the bunker would have finished and the Marine would have survived. So good delay from Creator, just being a nuisance here. Can even take down that SCV once again. 2 SCVs, a massive delay on the CC. This is the risk you take when you take a CC on the low ground like this. And GuMiho was punished for it. We'll finally finish up that command center. Again, I'm sure that's a big reason as to why GuMiho did go for the CC on the high ground in the last game, as the Creator is mixing things up even more. For the first time this series, it is not going to be a Blink opener, it's going to be a Phoenix opener instead, with that Stargate. Oh boy. Is this the beginnings of Phoenix Colossus? Probably. Yeah. I mean, we could also go Phoenix Charge, to be fair. Creator, he has options available to him as he gets into that second gateway. Phoenixes are banking up back at home, as GuMiho is getting ready for his 2-1-1 setup. Interesting. So GuMiho is actually going for a Raven first. Very interesting. Adept is knocked out of that wall, which means GuMiho can dive into the natural, but it's going to be zoned away. GuMiho hasn't been able to see too much yet, but he is going to slip into the main base, and this is going to be a pretty crucial moment here. GuMiho, he gets eyes on the Stargate, on the Phoenixes. He is aware of what's going on. With that, GuMiho has to be very careful with this Raven. It needs to be kept safe. That's going to be like the highest value target for Creator, is shutting down that Raven. As Creator is going for a fast start, so it is going to be the Phoenix Colossus opener here from Creator. Very tech heavy, very greedy. We have the Robo on the way. What, am I crazy? Yeah, I was like, am I crazy? Did I dream the Robo? It's on the way. GuMiho is just getting ready on these 2 bases, building up his tank count, gathering up that energy on that Raven. There is that robotic spade that we were waiting for. With this spade, we can start Colossus production. It looks like Creator isn't being too greedy. He isn't cutting too many corners as he's getting into the Immortal production first, before the Colossi. So he will have an army to work with. And this is going to be a pretty powerful push coming out from GuMiho. With Stim +1 and combat shields, and with that Raven as well, just to disable. I love this. GuMiho keeping that Raven hidden in the top left-hand corner of the map, making sure it's safe. The reason why he's hiding this, and the reason why I'm putting so much emphasis on this Raven, is that you can win the game with one big push with this Biotank army if you have disables. Like, depending on the engagement, of course, and depending on the angle of attack. As Creator is attempting to rush into these Colossi, I mean, he won't have any Colossi if they do get disabled by that Raven. But that's also why it's important that Creator, he's building up the Immortal count first. He's already got 2 Immortals to his name. Almost lost one, but does have 2 Immortals. And that does mean that even though the Colossus is going to get disabled, he will have like a standing army on the ground to stand up to the army of GuMiho. As he's moving out across the map, the goal here from Creator to try to pick off whatever he can beforehand, getting a good amount of damage done on those medevacs. And on the Raven as well. See Creator just sharking around. Up. Oh, does force a stim. Already a good amount of damage is done. And yeah, it looks like GuMiho is going to have to back off. Creator rocks up, even without this Colossi. Like, Creator, I think he has enough, and GuMiho does recognize that. He's going to wait for some reinforcements. He's taking a 3rd base on location. Good hallucination. Baits out one of those mine shots. And we're going for the anti-armor missile on the main army instead. There's the disable. And GuMiho is going to push on forward. With the anti-armor missile, he took down every single one of those Delta, but we have a second Colossus. Enough time has passed. Can he get it? Up! It looks like he barely will. Colossus falls, the disable runs out, and Creator is gonna hold on. But again, imagine if that wasn't delayed for so long. GuMiho definitely could have snowballed out of control. We can see Creator just shutting this down. Tanks are lifted. And does Creator have enough to actually counterattack? Back at home, we don't have any tanks remaining. We have Widow Mines instead. We see Creator rotating around. He hasn't seen the third base. He doesn't know where it was taken, so he's gambling a little bit. He rocks up. There's no base to kill, unfortunately. Third base was taken here towards the left-hand side instead. We'll get a lot of SCVs. 2 SCVs and a mule. Behind this Creator just continuing Colossus production, getting his third base up and running. When he's setting up a proxy location as well. Creator, he wants to reinforce, he wants to keep the pressure on. And GuMiho, he doesn't know where the main army is. As GuMiho moves out, that's going to create an opening here for Creator. See what I did there. And here we go. Creator is pushing towards that natural. GuMiho out of position. Is going to get a free Colossus. Not too bad. But can he do enough counter damage? We're kind of entering base trade territory. As GuMiho dives into the natural, gets on top of the production, shuts down the robo. At the same time, we do have Creator diving into the main. Creator can always recall. Bear that in mind. Looks like he's setting up a ninja base here towards the south as well. We have ghosts on the way. Oh my god. 2 ghosts, not too bad. But they will be lifted. And GuMiho is in every single base. He's just so much faster at this base trade. It feels like GuMiho is getting the better end of this. To be fair, when it comes to a head-to-head engagement, Creator does have the better army. As he does throw down that ninja base. Creator doesn't have enough for another Nexus. And GuMiho is floating away his buildings. He still has a base mining. Is finally going to be found out. SCVs are being evacuated. GuMiho just migrating everything towards the right-hand side of the map. Oh, it is going to lose his CC. GuMiho's going to lose all of his bases, but he keeps his workers alive, and he does have enough money to throw down another base. Bunkers are on the way. So GuMiho, it looks like he plans on just re-establishing himself on the right-hand side of the map. Creator can as well, but he just has significantly less economy and less mining. So GuMiho is in a slightly better position if he's able to get these bunkers up and running. Good mine shots. Can a Creator break this position? He's got 2 Colossi. He's got a good amount of Stalkers. The bunkers and the turrets, though, like GuMiho, like this is going to be just so heavily fortified. Here we go. Creator has 2 Immortals. With these Immortals, maybe he can break them. I think a lot of it's going to come down to the mine shots as well. I think there just isn't enough bio. The Marines, they stim on forward into Colossus. Marauders, they were going down as well. And with the range of these Colossi, Creator, yeah, he can just chip away at this. It's... It forces a reaction out of these Marauders. But again, with that range, he can just hold position here for days. And GuMiho can't really do anything about this. It was a pretty intense game. And it did feel like GuMiho was maybe initiating the base trade a little bit better just because he was in every base, killing workers. But overall, the main army is just better. GG gets called, and Creator will take the series 2-1 advancing on to the winners match. GG. GG, well played. Oh, again, Colossus just too much of a superior unit, especially in that position. I appreciated the kind of the setup that GuMiho had. Yeah, I appreciate the setup that GuMiho had, but alas, it just wasn't enough in the end. Was not enough. GG, well played. Creator takes the series. He does take the series. Let's go. Basilisk also has Roddy. They do have a caster. It's true. It's true. The ace. Aye, aye, aye. But with that, we have our next matchups ready for us. I should say we have them set up. Oh god. And we can switch our scenes over and have a look ourselves. We can have a look ourselves at how the group has been unfolding. At the start of the broadcast, we had our ZVT. Dark took down Special 2-1. Special fighting back quite hard and looking damn good in Game 1. Game 2 and Game 3, though, especially Game 3, Dark was able to show his dominance and surpass Special in that ZVT. Meanwhile, we saw here Creator, likewise, in both Game 2 and Game 3, outpositioning GuMiho and forcing the base trade, just pulling GuMiho apart. Game 2, I think, was the most impressive showing from Creator. In Game number 3, the base trade got a little bit wonky, but alas, Creator just had the better army. And we have our next matches. It's going to be Dark versus Creator in the winners match, and Special versus GuMiho in the elimination match. Oh boy. Now, before that happens, we are going to be going on a short break. And then when we return, we'll have the remainder of the group. We'll have the winners match, elimination match, and decider match. We're halfway there. And these matches have been pretty long. Ace matches all around. Will that continue? Will we keep getting Game 3s? Stick around to find out. Until then, take this moment to hydrate all your hydras, stretch your roaches, massage your marines, and we'll see you guys in a couple of minutes for Dark versus Creator. See you soon.